Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, well, things are getting a little weird.
Yeah.
We aren't looking at a trending news article or a tech review or, some massive historical biography. We're doing something completely different.
Mm.
We're essentially eavesdropping.
Yeah, it's a bit voyeuristic, isn't it?
A little bit. So I want you to picture this. A dimly lit room, low jazz playing in the background, the kind of place where the leather seats are cracked just right.
Uh-huh.
You hear the ambient hum of conversation, glasses clinking. We're in a wine bar.
It's the classic setting for unwinding.
Right.
You go there to complain about your boss, maybe talk about the weather, or gossip.
Exactly. But the source material we have today, it's a dialogue between two characters, Alex and Jordan. It just throws that completely out the window.
Oh, yeah.
They are definitely not there to talk about the weather.
No, they're skipping the small talk entirely.
It starts with this character, Alex. And I have to be honest, if someone said this to me in a bar, I think I would just pay my tab and leave.
What's the line?
He sits down and says, most people come to a wine bar to forget their problems. I come here to remember the substrate.
Wow. Okay. That is a very intense opener. Remember the substrate?
It's pretentious. It's incredibly pretentious.
Right.
And Jordan, the friend, calls him out on it immediately.
As they should.
Jordan asks, the substrate, that's your opener, which is, I think, the only sane response.
It is. But Alex defends it. He says, it's better than, do you come here often? Besides, everything begins with a slice.
And that is what we're unpacking today, the slice.
Right.
When I first read this, I thought we were talking about pizza. Or maybe golf. But it's something much heavier. This whole dialogue breaks down the 8 axioms of the slice.
Yeah, exactly. And while it sounds super abstract, it's actually a framework. It's like a blueprint for how you go from absolute nothingness, from chaos, to a world that actually makes sense.
A world like the universe.
The universe, a company culture, even just a relationship. Any coherent system.
Okay, so our mission is to sit at the table next to Alex and Jordan, drink our metaphorical wine, and figure out how reality is built. And apparently it all starts on the cut.
It does. Jordan asks Alex to start at the top. Axiom number 1.
Axiom 1 is distinction, Alex says. A slice has to make a difference. If nothing changes, nothing begins.
This is the absolute 0 point.
Okay, but let's pause here because this is where my brain, it starts to hurt a little. What does he mean by nothing begins? I mean, the world is already there, isn't it?
Well, think about before the cut. Before you make a distinction, what is there? It's not empty space. It's just a blur, a shapeless, endless hum.
A hum.
If everything is the same, then in a way, nothing exists.
So like white noise.
Exactly like white noise. If you hear a tone that never ever changes, eventually your brain just stops registering it. It becomes nothing. To create something, you have to interrupt that noise.
You have to draw a line.
You have to make a cut.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Jordan says, so your whole worldview starts with a cut. It sounds, I don't know, violent.
It is a bit. It's decisive. And Alex replies, every worldview does. Most people just pretend it doesn't. We're constantly carving things out of the background noise. I mean, that cup of coffee on your desk, it only exists as a separate object because your brain draws a boundary around it.
So without the cut, it's all just one big soup of atoms.
Precisely. Distinction is the first act of creation.
All right, so we've made a cut. We have a thing, a slice. But as Jordan points out in the dialogue, and I think this is a very practical objection, things don't last.
Right.
Jordan asks, what keeps your little distinctions from just evaporating?
And that is the perfect setup for Axiom 2. Continuity.
Right. Alex explains it as a difference has to last long enough to matter, otherwise it's just noise.
Think about a glitch on a computer screen, or a flicker of light in your peripheral vision. If it appears and vanishes in a nanosecond, was it even real?
I usually just assume I'm tired.
Exactly. You dismiss it. You treat it as noise. For distinction to be part of a world, it has to stick around. It has to persist.
Jordan has a line here that I actually underlined. Jordan says, so persistence is the first form of respect.
Isn't that a powerful idea?
It is. It frames existence not just as, physics, but as something almost social.
The first form of respect.
Yeah.
By persisting, a thing is demanding to be taken seriously. It's saying, I am not a glitch, I am here. If you can't maintain continuity, the universe or the market or your friends, they'll just ignore you.
Okay, so we have a cut, that's distinction, and we have that cut sticking around, that's continuity. But here is where I get skeptical. If I just have a billion distinct things that all stick around, Isn't that just a horde?
A horde.
Yeah, like a junkyard, just a pile of persistent objects. That's not a world, that's just a mess.
You are hitting on the exact problem Jordan sees.
Yeah.
Just having stuff isn't enough. You need relationships between the stuff.
Right.
Jordan says, and I'm guessing you're about to tell me time is just slices in a line.
Which brings us to axiom 3, ordering.
And Alex confirms it. No sequence, no causality, no world.
This is the before and after part.
Exactly. If you have a pile of snapshots, but they're not in order, you have no story. You have no cause and effect. You can't say, because it dropped the glass, it broke.
You just have 2 separate pictures, a broken glass and a whole glass.
And without that arrow of time, nothing makes any sense. Causality relies on sequence. Event A must happen before event B for it to cause B. If you can't order your slices, you don't have a reality. You have chaos.
Jordan, who seems to be enjoying the wine at this point, brings it right back down to earth. Jordan says, no world, no wine, tragic.
And it's true. Think about making wine. Grapes grow. They're crushed, fermented, bottled, poured. You cannot reverse that order.
You can't drink the wine before you crush the grape.
You can't. So the slice isn't just a static thing. It's a moment in a sequence.
So we have a foundation now, separate things, which is distinction. They last, which is continuity, and they happen in order, which is ordering. Is that it? Are we done building our world?
Not even close. Alex says, now we get to the fun part. Because honestly, what we have so far is still pretty chaotic. Everything's happening in order, sure, but the rules could still change at any second.
This is axiom 4, invariance.
Invariance.
I have to say, invariance is one of those dry academic words that makes my eyes glaze over.
It is a bit dry, but think of it as stubbornness.
Stubbornness.
That's how Alex explains it.
Yeah.
Once you have distinctions, persistence, and sequence, some patterns start refusing to change.
Refusing to change, like gravity.
Exactly. Or imagine playing a board game where the rules change every single time you roll the dice.
I would flip the table.
You couldn't play. You couldn't strategize. A world needs reliable patterns.
Yeah.
It needs things that are invariant. Alex calls this the universe saying, look, I'm not rewriting the rules every 5 minutes.
That is actually really comforting. We need the floor to be solid every time we step on it.
Right.
We need the sun to rise in the east every morning.
Yeah. And socially, we need this too. Jordan cracks a joke here, saying, wish some people I know had that policy.
We all know that person. The one whose personality changes depending on who's in the room. It's so destabilizing.
It creates anxiety. Invariance creates stability. It allows you to build complex things because you can trust the foundation won't just shift under your feet.
Okay, so we have a stable stage. The actors are there, the script is written, the lights are on. But Jordan asks the next logical question. So what's next? Let me guess. Someone has to notice the invariance.
This is a huge pivot in the conversation. We're moving from just mechanics to, well, to awareness.
Axiom 5, witnessing.
Witnessing.
Now, are we getting spiritual here? Is this about consciousness?
Sort of, but not in a mystical way. Alex defines it as a system has to be able to observe its own slices. Otherwise, it can't learn, can't adapt, can't stabilize.
Observe its own slices. That's a weird phrase.
It is weird, right? But think about where they are. In a wine bar, they're watching people. Imagine a world where things happen, but nothing registers them. There are no feedback loops. Like a thermostat that can't measure the temperature of the room.
It would just blast heat forever or freeze everyone out. It would fail.
Exactly. A system, whether it's a machine, an organism, or a society, it needs a mirror. It needs to see what it's doing so it can correct its course.
Jordan says, so awareness isn't optional, it's structural.
That is the key insight, structural. Awareness isn't just some magic fairy dust sprinkled on top of humans. It is a structural requirement for any system that wants to survive. You have to witness yourself.
Okay, so the system is watching itself. It sees what's happening. But what if what it sees doesn't make sense?
The glitch of the matrix.
Exactly. Jordan asks, okay, but what stops the whole thing from collapsing into contradictions?
This brings us to axiom 6.
Coherence.
Alex says, contradictions can't accumulate faster than the system can resolve them. Otherwise, the substrate tears.
The substrate tears.
That sounds terrifying. It sounds like something from a sci-fi horror movie. It does, but think about it in a corporate setting. You have a company. The CEO gives a speech about how innovation is our #1 priority. Take risks, fail fast.
Okay, sounds good.
But then the managers fire anyone who makes a mistake.
Right, that's a contradiction.
That is a lack of coherence. You have 2 rules, take risks and don't fail. That cannot exist in the same space. If you don't resolve that contradiction, the culture tears. People stop trusting the system. It falls apart.
Jordan calls coherence the immune system of reality.
I love that metaphor. Your body attacks viruses because they don't belong. They contradict your health. Coherence attacks contradictions. It forces the system to decide, are we risk takers or are we safe players? You can't be both.
So reality has to constantly fact-check itself.
Constantly. If the contradictions pile up too high, the world breaks.
Oh, wow. Okay, we are getting deep into the bottle now. We've handled contradictions. But Jordan, who's clearly trying to predict Alex's next move, says, let me guess, something has to stay the same across slices.
This sounds a lot like invariance again, doesn't it?
It does. I thought we already covered things staying the same.
But this is different. Invariance is about rules, like gravity. This is Axiom 7, conservation. And Alex isn't talking about energy or mass.
No, he lists 3 things that surprised me. He says, identity, truth, trust.
The conserved quantities of coherent worlds.
That feels incredibly human. We went from distinction and ordering to trust.
But think about identity as a conservation law. If I talk to you now and then I talk to you in 5 minutes, I assume you are the same person.
I would hope so.
If you completely changed your personality, your memories, and your values every 10 seconds,
You couldn't have a conversation with me.
I couldn't have a relationship with you. The world between us would just vanish. For a social world to exist, identity and trust must be conserved. They have to survive the passage of time.
Jordan nails this. Jordan says, so conservation isn't about physics, it's about survival.
Exactly. If truth isn't conserved, meaning facts stay facts, then we're just hallucinating at each other. There's no shared reality.
That feels uncomfortably relevant to the modern world, actually. When truth isn't conserved, society feels like it's wobbling.
It feels like the substrate is tearing.
Okay, we have arrived at the final one, the 8th axiom. Jordan asks for the closer.
Axiom 8, meaning.
Meaning. Alex defines it as, a slice has to change the state of the system in a way that can be interpreted.
Interpreted. That is the crucial word.
And Alex warns, otherwise it's just noise pretending to be structure.
Oof. Noise pretending to be structure.
That's a burn.
It really is.
Yeah.
Think about a giant spreadsheet full of data. Millions of rows. Is that meaningful?
Not to me, it's just numbers.
It's just noise. It only becomes meaning when someone interprets it. When they say, oh, this number means our sales are down. Meaning requires a change in the observer.
Jordan picks up on this immediately. Jordan says, so meaning is the difference that makes a difference.
Which is a famous quote.
And Alex catches it too. He says, you're quoting Bateson at a wine bar. I'm impressed.
Gregory Bateson, anthropologist, systems theorist. He argued that information isn't just raw data. It's news of a difference that actually changes something.
So if a tree falls in the forest and nobody hears it?
It might be a distinction. It might have continuity. But if it doesn't change the state of the system, if it isn't interpreted, it lacks meaning. It's the capstone of the whole framework.
So let's take a breath. That was a lot. We have 8 axioms. Jordan does a fantastic job in the text of summarizing the whole checklist. Let's just run through it to see the whole architecture.
Sure. Let's stack them up. To build a world, you need 1, distinction. You have to cut the noise.
2, continuity. The cut has to last.
3, ordering. It has to happen in a sequence.
4, invariance. The rules can't just change every 5 minutes.
5, witnessing. The system has to see itself.
6, coherence.
Yeah.
You have to resolve the contradictions.
7, conservation.
Yeah,
you have to keep
engagement.
identity and trust alive.
And 8, meaning it all has to matter.
Alex says. That's the whole substrate. 8 axioms. 1 coherent world.
It's impressive. It bridges the gap between hard physics-like entropy and causality and soft sociology like trust and meaning.
It shows that they're actually the same thing, in a way. The laws that bind atoms together aren't that different from the laws that bind people together. It's all about maintaining structure against chaos.
So the dialogue wraps up. The bottle is probably empty. Jordan seems satisfied. Jordan says, not bad for a night out. Next round's on me.
But there is a condition.
There's always a condition with these two, Jordan adds, but only if you promise not to derive a 9th axiom.
Jordan has had enough philosophy for one night.
And Alex, does he agree?
Of course not. Alex just replies, no promises, everything begins with a slice.
And the scene fades out. Glasses clink.
It leaves you with this lingering feeling, doesn't it? The work is never done. You solve the 8 axioms and suddenly a new problem appears. A 9th axiom.
So what do we do with this? I mean, it's a cool conversation over here, but how does this help me when I'm stuck in traffic or dealing with a messy project at work?
I think it's a diagnostic tool.
A diagnostic tool.
Look at your own life. Look at a project that's failing or a relationship that feels off and just run the checklist.
Okay.
Ask yourself, which axiom is missing?
Give me an example.
Okay, say your team at work is stressed and confused. Maybe you lack distinction. Nobody knows what their specific role is. It's all just a blur.
Or maybe you lack invariance. The boss changes the goals every single Monday morning.
Exactly. Or maybe you lack coherence. The mission statement says one thing, but the budget says the complete opposite.
That's a big one.
If you can identify which axiom is broken, you can actually fix the world. You can repair the substrate.
But if you ignore it,
then you're just creating noise. And as Alex would say, you're just noise pretending to be structure.
well, on that slightly intimidating note, we are going to wrap up this deep dive. I'm going to go look at my own life and see if I have any coherence left.
Good luck with that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
We hope this helps you understand the architecture of the reality you live in, or at least gives you something interesting to say at a wine bar.
Just maybe don't open with, remember the substrate.
Definitely don't do that. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll catch you on the next one.